The Biden administration in the US is preparing to lead an international campaign to slow or halt cuts in company tax rates around the globe. Countries have been jostling to undercut each other's corporate taxes for decades to lure more business their way. But the US president and his Treasury Secretary are signalling they're serious about bringing an end to the trend. Correspondent Greg Jennett joins us now from Washington. Greg, g'day. So why is the US getting so serious about this?
Morning, Joe. Yes, this is quite an ambition that Joe Biden has set for his administration, driven in part by necessity, because it's a matter of record now that his administration has unleashed about 2.3 trillion Australian dollars in pandemic relief, and there's more to come in an infrastructure spending package as well. Now, not all of that can be or will be paid for by increasing taxes, but at least part of it Joe Biden wants to fund by higher corporate taxes. So this is to reverse something that Donald Trump's administration had delivered, bringing the company tax rate down from above 30 cents in the dollar down to 21 cents in the dollar. And Joe Biden wants to take it back towards 28 cents if he can achieve that on Capitol Hill. So he has lots of arguments about the need to reverse this trend, which, let's face it, has been going on for decades. But one that he makes quite forcefully is that companies shouldn't complain about this because, as he pointed out today, only a few of the very wealthiest American companies are paying much corporate tax anyway.
We were talking about a 28% tax that everybody thought was just fair enough for everybody. The idea is here you have 51 or 52 corporations of the Fortune 500 haven't paid a single penny in tax for 3 years. Come on, man.
And so, Greg, how does the US plan to get other countries on board?
Yeah, so this is not just a domestic agenda, although that's Joe Biden's starting position. What they don't want to do in the process of taking the corporate tax rate back up for America is to lose companies who might go and headquarter in another part of the world. So this is where Janet Yellen comes in as Treasury Secretary. She's obviously on the same page as Joe Biden, as you would expect, but she wants to try and rally and harness lots of countries to join onto a regime which agrees that there will be a floor, a minimum for company tax rates around the world, and that no country should be allowed to go below it. So Janet Yellen has spoken publicly to an audience in Chicago about trying to use some upcoming meetings due this month, the month of April, to try and wrangle an international agreement on a bare minimum company tax rate.
We're working with G20 nations to agree to a global minimum corporate tax rate that can stop the race to the bottom. Together, we can use a global minimum tax to make sure the global economy thrives based on a more level playing field in the taxation of multinational corporations.
So Janet Yellen is driven by a few motivations here. One, she says straight up, is that the pandemic has made lots of countries realise that giving away corporate taxes, as has happened in recent decades, just didn't leave enough in the cupboard for emergencies when they come along, such as the coronavirus pandemic. And she will be using meetings of the G20, the OECD, the IMF and the World Bank, all of this to try and put American leadership back to the fore on this issue, at least.
OK, Greg Jennett there in Washington.